So next, I want to show you my new theory and what I'm calling now positive psychology 4.0, the whole being theory. Here we're taking into consideration everything else from the past of positive psychology and the well-being theory, and now we're adding that positive health, and it's not just physical, but it's dealing with mental health also. And this is the whole being theory, putting the mind and body together. And my diagram, I feel, is a very good diagram that I've not seen out there anywhere that explains the different levels of happiness and how they can be achieved. The bottom area in blue, we have hedonic happiness. We know that there is hedonic happiness out there where people are seeking more pleasure and minimizing pain. And the top half is the eudaimonic happiness, where we have this deeper level of happiness, giving us a sense of purpose in our lives, and it leads to longer lasting well-being, and nowadays calling it whole being. So we have our 6 pathways here, and the first pathway we'll discuss down here in the blue is pleasure. Going back to that term, pleasure is just the simple type emotions where you get from something that makes you happy in the moment. It could be watching a television show that's enjoyable to you. It could be a funny show, could be a drama, whatever, that just makes you feel good, or seeing a movie, or doing something that makes you feel good in the moment, but it's not that long-lasting, deep level of happiness. It's the hedonic type happiness. And pleasure can only be achieved in this hedonic happiness zone. And then we'll go up to the top where we have meaning in our life, where we have a reason to do things, a purpose in life, such as, raising your children gives you meaning. Having a job or a career, a vocation that is making a difference in the lives of others. So having something meaningful to strive for, to achieve, to work towards, that really only leads to eudaimonic happiness. And then we have the 4 pathways in the middle, which are in green, which, as we know in the color scale, that yellow and blue make green. And I feel that these pathways here kind of overlap in both categories of happiness, where we'll start with the positive relationships. We know we can have relationships, positive relationships, not ones that bring us down, but positive relationships that make us feel good in the moment. Hanging out with some friends, maybe not people that we're really close to, but just some friends, some acquaintances, and having a good time. Maybe even going to like a sporting event, a football game or whatever, and having fun with our friends there. And that leads to the hedonic happiness, because it's like, yeah, that was a good time, yeah, good memories and all that stuff, but it's not changing your life. And then we have the deeper type relationships where, as Chris Peterson says, other people matter. And we have our personal relationships with our family, our significant others, that raise our level of happiness up. And when we do things, in groups, we know that having good social ties raises our happiness level up. And we know when we have people that we can go to, discuss our life with, that gives us more meaning in life. And then also when we do things for others, when we lend a hand to other people, having other people matter, making a difference in their lives, is going to raise our happiness up. And we go into the eudaimonic happiness level there. And then we get into engagement, and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi coined the term flow, and where we can, and athletes talk about being in the zone, but this is when we get fully engaged in an activity, and we're not thinking, we just get lost in the moment there, and we just are doing. We are reacting to the situations where our challenge meets our skill level, and we can get totally engaged and absorbed in an activity. When that happens, that leads to the eudaimonic happiness, where we're fully engaged in activities, and we're just, afterwards, it was like, wow, that was an awesome experience there. Wow, that really that is impressive. That made a difference. And then we can also get engaged in some simple activities. Doesn't matter what it is, but we can get engaged in maybe like playing some music or cooking. And it's like, wow, that really felt good. And at the moment, it makes you feel happy, gives you that hedonic type happiness, that little simple pleasure. But, getting involved in cooking a good meal or playing music may not totally change your life, but it does bring you happiness. So that's where the hedonic happiness comes in. And then we have the pillar of achievement, and we'll stick with hedonic happiness here for achievement. And that could be simply winning a game of backgammon or winning a game of Trivial Pursuit, or doing something like that, and it just makes you feel good, like, yes, I won that game and I did well, and it makes you feel good in the moment. But winning a game of backgammon, let's face it, it's not really going to change your life. But then we also have achievement in the category of pursuing personally meaningful goals. And then when we do achieve them, it's like graduating from college, getting a certain GPA in college that gets you to the next level, maybe going to grad school, having things like this, creating the life that you desire for your family, achieving these goals, having a career that makes a difference in making positive impacts on other people's lives. You're achieving certain things. Well, that leads to the eudaimonic type happiness. And that lasts. That gives you a purpose. It's like, yes, I'm raising a good family. I've achieved that. And a lot of times these things may cross over with engagement and relationships and achievement and meaning. And that's awesome. And, there's not saying that they have to be completely separate. Many times I could give examples, I'm not going to, where I could get 5 or 6 of these happening in one time. And then we get to the positive health pathway. And like we said, doing things like exercise and taking care of yourself makes you feel good in the moment. We know that the endorphins go, dopamine increases, and we feel better when we do certain types of exercise. Not all exercise, but certain types of exercise. So in the moment, it leads us to the hedonic happiness. But we also know that by creating this healthy, fit body for ourselves, by doing the right type of exercise and nutrition, getting our sleep, and taking care of our body by not smoking, not drinking too much, going to the doctor, that we are creating a future for ourselves that we can still do the things that we need to do, our activities of daily living. So not only today are we self-sufficient, but in the future we'll be self-sufficient too. And that, I feel, leads to the eudaimonic type happiness. And that completes, now that we're dealing with the mind, the body, achievement, relationships, all these things, leads to what I am calling the whole being theory, starting now in 2015.